Not quite an official visit, but a special one nonetheless. Former Secretary of State Madeleine Albright checking in on some old friends at the Bowers Museum in Santa Ana.
It's fun to see my pins again. They've been traveling around for a while, and so it's always good to reacquaint myself. I think the purpose of the exhibit has always been to have fun and make foreign policy less foreign, because all the pins have some kind of foreign policy story associated with it.
Gems and faux gems that sparkle and glitter and tell grand tales, like this one, the one that started it all. Directed at Saddam Hussein, he called her an unparalleled serpent, so she wore one.
Each pin really just isn't a piece of costume jewelry. Each pin tells an amazing story. That is a very important part of American culture and American history. And so the educational value for anyone, but particularly high school kids, is just amazing. And one of my favorites is the picture of the pin of the glass ceiling, shattering the glass ceiling, that she wore with Hillary Clinton. And when I read, the most amazing statement is when I read that Secretary Albright, when she was appointed Secretary of State by President Clinton, she was the highest ranking woman in American history. That's quite a statement.
And through these little or not so little diplomatic tools, Madam Secretary could speak in a language all her own.
When the other ambassadors would say, "So what do we think we're going to do today?" And it was after the first President Bush had said, "Read my lips, no new taxes." So I said, "Read my pins." And that's how the whole thing started. And it has clearly developed a life of its own.
A life within a life. For Secretary Albright, the focus has always been
Foreign policy, clearly. It's all I've ever really academically and politically been interested in. But I know that for a lot of people, foreign policy is really foreign. And the pins kind of humanize things and allow me to tell stories. That was the purpose of the exhibit and the book. And so that goes on. It's funny, and I think I revived the costume jewelry industry. But the thing that is very funny is when I don't wear a pin, which I don't when I exercise or go to the supermarket or something. People say, "Why aren't you wearing a pin?" So in some ways, it's, I always have to think about why I'm wearing something or not.
So now you can't leave the house without being pinned?
I can't. But I think it's an opener for people to just come up and talk to me, which is kind of nice, because I like talking to people and being accessible and feel that people can come up and chat.
like Paul Johnson, who designed this exhibit, obviously to Secretary Albright's liking.
I feel like I know her. I watch her videos, and I thought that here's a woman that I could really relate to. She just seems very down to earth, and she reminds me a little bit of my own family.
I would have to agree. Chatting with Secretary Albright felt like talking with a good friend.